The most beautiful part of being a human being is the freedom we get to make choices in our life. It's not like we are governed by a controlling power which is telling us to do things uh, in a set format. Nothing like that. We have our own free will, we have our own way of making choices, and that is the beauty of this world. We are given this freedom to choose what we want in life. And although this is something that is seen as a privilege, the flip side of this is that whatever choices I make, I have to either enjoy it or suffer the choice that I made. So, the creator, he is so intelligent that he has created this universe in a way that everything runs, according to the law of karma when we look at the bigger picture. And what is karma? When you just try and explain in very simple terms, it just comes down to the fact that it is all based on the choices we make in our lives, that we you know kind of design the karma, or we enjoy it or suffer it, basically. So it all comes down to this, the quality of choices I make in my life, and the kind of smartness that I use when I'm making choices in my life. So let us dive deep into this particular topic as to how do you make the right choices in your life. Now, just understand this concept, like, anything that you consider as freedom, it can also turn out to be a bondage. And something that you know is a bondage can prove to be your freedom. Now, let me give you an example to prove this statement. The free will that we all enjoy in life is, of course, freedom. But when it is not used properly, it becomes a bondage to us. It's like, because I have a free will and I make a choice of getting into some addiction, then this addiction becomes my bondage because I become a slave of my addiction. On the other hand, strict discipline and rules are often considered as a bondage. But if I follow it, then I will enjoy good health and prosperity, which will give me peace of mind. And peace of mind, as we all know, is the most pure form of freedom. So, with this example, we need to understand that it is my perception and the capacity to understand things which will allow me to choose what is freedom, or for that matter, what is bondage. Similarly, when it comes to choices, making the right choice in life is also purely based on my understanding and my perception of things around me. So let us emphasize on this particular point, that making the right choices in our lives is of great importance. It just lays down the foundation of how our quality of life is going to be in future. So we cannot take it for granted. We need to be very conscious about the fact that choices that we make in our lives will go a long way. It will decide our destiny, it will design our destiny, it will literally guide us throughout our lives. So it becomes very important what kind of choices I make in my life. So the first thing that comes in my mind when I have to talk about this topic is, what are the things that I need to keep in my mind while I'm making choices, be it right or wrong. It basically first comes down to the point that I am making choices. So, what should I keep in my mind while I'm making choices in my life? The first thing is that I need to ask a few questions to myself whenever I have to make a choice in my life. The first and foremost question would be, how will it benefit my well being? Let us understand that this life that is gifted to us by God is something so precious. And I am answerable and I am responsible for whatever happens in my life. So I need to ensure my well-being in all the choices that I make. Now, if I make a choice without using my smartness, like for example, my food habits, if I make a very wrong choice regarding my diet, who will suffer? It's me who's going to suffer, right? So, the first and foremost thing that comes to my mind when I have to make choices is the question that I need to ask myself: how will this choice benefit my well being? First, you should answer this question in your mind. Secondly, the question that you need to ask yourself is: how will it affect my people? We should be so grateful to God that we have such wonderful and lovely people around us. We are kind of codependent, not in a wrong sense, but in the most pure and positive way. We want each other's company, we rely on each other. So, whatever choice I make, I need to be very, very careful as to how it will affect my people, because I'm not living alone, I am not isolated, I am a social being, I am in a family, I am with my friends, they are my people. So I need to first understand, I need to ask myself this particular question: whatever choice I make in my life, how will it affect my people? Because we need to think about the well-being of them as well. Thirdly, the question that I need to ask myself is: will it ensure the peace of mind for me? Understand one thing in life: if anything is costing you your peace of mind, then believe me, it is very expensive, and you need to tell yourself that no, I cannot afford this. It's not about your wealth, it's not about your fame, it's not about your name, it's your peace of mind that is at stake. So, whenever you make choices, make sure that your peace of mind is always kept intact. It shouldn't be that you're making a choice at the cost of your peace of mind. So please be careful that you ask this particular third question to yourself whenever you are making choices in your life. So now let's go to the next level of this topic, and that is what happens when you make the right decisions. Let us know what is the benefit of making the right choices or the right decisions in life. The first and foremost thing is that you will be able to avoid the contradicting thoughts, because right decisions or the right choices always grant us the peace of mind. So there will be no two thoughts going on in my mind at the same time, and that will avoid creating confusions in my mind. And when I am happy and when I do not have contradicting thoughts, just imagine the level of productivity that I can show in whatever I take up in my life. So it becomes very important that we realize that if we make the right kind of choices in our lives, we can avoid any kind of contradicting thoughts that may arise in our minds, which, it snatches away the peace of mind if it is there. The second benefit or advantage of making the right choices is that you avoid emotions like guilt. This particular emotion that's called guilt is the worst, or you can say the most negative form of emotion that we can harbor in our heart and mind. It literally snatches away the happiness from our lives. So if I'm foolish enough, if I make a choice out of some impulsive thoughts, or if I just go with the flow, if I'm not smart, if I don't understand the consequences of my choices, ultimately, for sure, bad choices will always keep us awake, with the thought that I am guilty, that, I am allowing a particular phase or a particular part of my life to get affected in a bad way. That's the guilt. Again, let's get back to the diet part of it. If I make a wrong choice for my diet or my health, I might do it. I might make the wrong choice. I might have the pizza, which I was not supposed to have. But can I be free of the guilt? No. Who wants that kind of emotion? Who wants the guilt in life, right? So, if I make the right choice, if I exercise self-control, if I have the right kind of perception, if I'm smart enough in making the right choices, then I can avoid emotions like guilt in my heart. And that again will ensure peace of mind. The third benefit of making the right choices in life is that we perform well in life. So when you do not have contradicting thoughts and you do not have any negative emotions like guilt, obviously you're going to perform really, really well in your life. You are like unstoppable. You can start creating, the life that you always dreamt of. There is nothing that is pulling you back. There are no contradicting thoughts, or there are no emotions like guilt which is just pulling you back from achieving your dreams. So always keep in mind that if you make the right choices, you are going to perform well in your lives. Now let us also understand what are those exact things, or what are those precise things that I need to do that will ensure the right choices. What are those things that will give me the capability to make the right choices in my life? The first thing is that I need to gain complete clarity of thoughts. So when I am made to take a decision, a particular decision or a particular choice I need to make in my life, I need to have clarity in my thoughts. How is it going to benefit me? How are things going to work in my favor? And basically, I need to ensure my peace of mind whenever I make choice. So I need to have the clarity of thoughts. Secondly, any choice that I make should never be hasty or impulsive. Please be careful. Never make decisions in a hasty or an impulsive manner. Or rather, if I want to say, never take permanent decisions based on temporary situations. Keep this particular statement in your mind. It will help you in the long run. The third thing is that I always have to make sure that the choices that I make are always ethical. You can fool yourself, you can fool others, but you can never fool the law of karma that is there. If you do anything non-ethical, immoral, be rest assured you're going to reap the benefits of that. So please be careful. Be aware that there is karma that rules our lives. So always the choices that you make should be ethical. The fourth thing that I need to, ensure to make the right choices is that I need to keep in mind that there is no choice which is worth at the cost of my integrity and self-respect. If you are making any choice at the cost of your integrity and self-respect, please give it a thought. Please get out of it. Do not make such choices. Because end of the day, the remorse, the regret that you will have is something that is irreparable. You need to first respect yourself. You need to keep your integrity intact whenever you're making choices in your life. And the fifth thing that I need to be very clear in my mind when I'm making the right choices is that I need to shut down the justifications that support bad choices. There are many times, we just justify our wrongdoings, we justify our wrong thinking. We need to stop that. We need to have the power, the control, and the capability to say, no, I am not going to justify the wrong things in my life in order to make choices in my life. whenever I'm making choices, I need to justify whatever is right for me. If it is bad, if it is wrong, I am not supposed to justify just so that I feel comfortable and go ahead with that decision. Keep in mind, you never justify wrong things or wrong ideas that will support bad choices. That's all about it. You need to just keep all these things in mind, and always remember that there is no soft pillow like the clear conscience. So when you look at yourself in the mirror, make sure you're able to look into your eyes. It's very important that you are true to yourself. As I said, you can fool others. Sometimes you can even fool yourself. There are so many such situations where we fool ourselves. We can fool others. We can, basically think that we can get away with anything. But there is our conscience, that always tells us there's something wrong that you're doing. You should be honest to yourself. End of the day, just be honest to yourself, and that will ensure good sleep at night. It will also ensure good health in your life, and of course, the precious peace of mind. So please keep all these things in your mind whenever you have to make choices in your life. Now, as I always say, I'm neither a life coach and nor am I somebody who has gained a lot of spiritual knowledge. Whatever I come up in my content is just the experience that I have gained throughout my life so far. And I just feel wonderful sharing my thoughts in this community, and that's about it. And if it is really useful for you, I'll be more than happy. And as always, I will again request you guys to share your valuable feedback in the comment section below. And that's all for today's content. And always keep in mind that you need to make the right choices in life, because bad choices and bad decisions will only set the roadmap for a lot of regret and remorse in life. Who wants that, right? So live your life to the fullest, be very happy, and welcome the abundance and prosperity in your life by being that good person with the good karma. That's all about it. So take care of yourself, and let's meet in our next podcast. Until then, thanks so much for listening on today's content. Thanks a lot. Take care of yourself.